What's up, everybody, and welcome to Shapes of Gaming, the weekly conversational podcast all about video games that's unedited, unfiltered, and unhinged. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Stenson, Neocharge on PSN, and joining me, as always, for episode number 3 is my good friend, the co-founder and retro gaming encyclopedia himself, Bob Harriman, Leon Lyon Hartley on PSN. What's up, man?
Good morning, Vietnam. How y'all doing out there today?
Nice. I love it. Love the energy. Yeah, it's hot. It's fucking hot in Colorado.
Yeah, I feel like a pig at a barbecue.
Yeah. So, you know what is good for hot days? Cool drinks. So, as always, we'll start with what we're drinking. Go quickly into that.
Yeah, let's not cut to the chase. Bob didn't get a chance to go to my beer store yet, so I'm still carrying the same thing from last week, the little red cap from Grimm Brothers. I still had one in the fridge, and I'll tell you this much: sitting out of the fridge after a long day at work, it goes down smooth.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Reds are always good. Hey man, sometimes I'm gonna double up beers too. All good.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the theme here. I got a really good summer brew from Avery. Avery is out of Denver, Colorado. Did you know that?
I've heard that, but once you get north of Castle Rock and the Colorado folks know what I'm talking about, it just becomes one big metropolitan map for me.
Basically, yeah. But I am drinking a fruited tart ale called Electric Sunshine from Avery Brewing. It's got pineapple, kiwi, and huckleberry.
Ooh, that sounds like it gets you white girl wasted.
You hear that?
that's the sound of deliciousness, folks.
Yes. I do like fruit beers. I don't know, especially for summer. But my favorite beers in the summer are actually cucumber. You ever had cucumber beer?
No, that sounds like, I don't know, abomination.
Cucumber. So cucumber is, yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say a cucumber is flavorless. It's 90% water, anyways.
Nope. I'm gonna get some cucumber beers. 10 Barrel makes a good one, and that's also in Denver. And yeah, you ever put cucumber in water? You ever go to those fancy restaurants where they have cucumber in water?
Yeah, I never tasted difference because I don't know. Maybe I'm just inept.
Interesting. No, cucumber kind of freshens up the water a little bit, and cucumber beer is really good, and it's really refreshing. And that's 2 beers I'm going to save for you. I'm going to save the Hawaiian TKO, the Hawaiian Punch Sour, and then I'm going to have a 10 Barrel cucumber sour for you. It's delicious.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's delicious.
You do that, and trust me, next time I go back home, I'll bring you a 6-pack of Spotted Cow.
Heck yeah.
So
love it. How's your week been, man?
Dude, it's been going nonstop. Well, it's been this like weird roller coaster. So it feels like a stop start situation. Just finally got off work. Working through that business. Life seems to be going between juggling everything the family wants and what the boss wants, and then trying to play video games at the same time. Needless to say, it's been a good week for me to be in between major releases. What about you?
That's always the struggle. Life's been good. I'm not gonna lie. Clair Obscure Expedition 33. I finished the story. I actually finished in game. I actually platinumed it, so it has been platinumed, and we'll talk a little bit about that and what we're playing. It put me on my ass, man. The story, without spoiling anything, makes you really think about important things, and yeah, sometimes there's these games that come along that affect your real life, and you can relate to them, and you relate to things you've gone through in the past, and you relate to things you think about a lot. And I'm being vague here for a reason, but it really put me on my ass. It, like, for a couple days, I was just like, man, because that game is a masterpiece. And we're trying to get a spoiler cast put together, but I think I really do want you on there, and I'll wait for it. And I think it'll be good perspective from you fresh off the game, and then me having kind of some space in between just finishing it. And I think that'll give multiple perspectives. And I'm trying to wrangle up a couple other people to be on the spoiler cast because we're doing spoiler cast now.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's out there who may not have heard or seen, our very first spoiler cast went live this week on Tuesday, actually. So yesterday from when we're recording now, but it's all about Oblivion Remaster. We had a very special guest and friend of mine and the friend of the show who actually did the intro and outro music for what you're listening to right now. We spent about just under 2 hours, I want to say, talking about Oblivion Remaster from front to back, everything that's comparisons in between. So definitely feel free to go check that out. It's free for everybody, still on the main channel, so it'll show up if you haven't seen it on your feeds yet.
Yeah, it's super cool. It sounds like you guys had fun on that one. Shout out to Alex. Thank you so much. And yeah, he did the intro and the outro, and he was on the spoiler cast. Look at us bringing the community in, shaping this podcast with community involvement, right? That's what we like to do here. I finished Devil May Cry, the TV show. Really good.
Ooh.
Really good. I usually don't get into TV shows. I tend to lean into the video game based ones. And I was like, Devil May Cry, it sounds good. Adi Shankar did this one too, which he did Castlevania. Castlevania is my favorite video game based TV show. Season 2 is fucking perfection. Yeah, it was really good. If you grew up in any time in the 90s, early 2000s, the music is going to hit for you. It follows a lot of the story aspects of Devil May Cry 3, which is Dante's second origin story after DMC. DMC is his true origin story. Devil May Cry 3 is his actual origin story to the trilogy. I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan, but there were some episodes that kind of were like, that's interesting. They're doing that, or that's interesting writing. But other than that, incredible soundtrack from Power Glove. Power Glove did the soundtrack, most of it, and there's a lot of callbacks and 90s to early 2000s music. The intro is so it was a little interesting at first, but it did grow on me. And it's an incredible intro. It's Limp Bizkit rolling.
You said 90s 2000s. I'm like, unless you have Limp Bizkit, Korn, Slipknot, A Day to Remember, you're not good. You're just not capturing the moment.
Yeah, it's 8 episodes. There's a really good episode. The finale is awesome, and if you play the game, you'll appreciate the nods and the atmosphere of it. It doesn't really follow the game storyline, so go in not expecting the game storyline. Just go in expecting high octane, devil slashing, badass Dante and Lady combat. It's so good. The soundtrack is amazing. I went in with mid expectations. I've heard mixed things. I've heard really good things too, and I recommend it. It's really good. I loved it.
No, that's the best way to go in for anything. Let's be honest. But you said, as soon as you said Castlevania, you had me sold. That is probably one of my favorite animated series in the last 15 years. If I'm being honest, honestly, since before Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, it was that good.
Yeah. So did you see all 4 seasons and Nocturne?
I didn't see Nocturne, but I saw the 4 seasons. So I will say you're right. Second season is peak. After third and fourth kind of go a little off the rails for my taste. But I mean, my God, the music, the artwork, everything that's in there is just it really can't be matched and beat. So to hear that being translated into Devil May Cry, which is the pinnacle of the definition of late 90s, early aughts. Just the gameplay, the storytelling, everything else really strikes home for me. It's a huge callback, and I may have to jump on that train and find my kid, who I think is the one that's got a Netflix subscription, and jump in and check that, because you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Yep. Yeah, Devil May Cry is one of the best hack and slash games. A lot of games have built upon that formula. A game coming out this year looks very Devil May Cry-ish, Lost Soul aside, and yeah, it's just they're incredible games. Five, the most recent one, so good. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
and anybody, and you can't forget. Let's be honest; it's almost a meme at this point. But Devil May Cry, the importance of Devil May Cry comes from Resident Evil, and you got to appreciate what goes into that translation. But you're right. Since the PS1 era, or PS2 era, when that first one came out, and just the open cinematic, and I'm not going to get spoily, but you know what I'm
right.
talking about. That first scene
Hmm.
described Dante in such a way with using a little bit of dialogue, not a lot of it, but it described Dante as a character and the way he portrayed life and the way he just lived things and saw things through his lens. You immediately were like, okay, I may not identify with this character, but I see exactly where this character is coming from. And then they topped it off with that excellent gameplay that everybody uses it nowadays. That hack and slash God of War,
Yeah.
it can realistically even have some that is almost like a cousin to that, if you
Yep.
ask me.
Clair Obscure might even have some nods to Devil May Cry. Just saying. Yeah. So
Clair Obscure
yeah,
can't have everything in it, guys.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. But yeah, really good TV show. Thought I'd give a shout out to that. Devil May Cry, awesome.
Yeah,
I
wonderful.
they have been signed for a season two, so it was successful. They're getting a season two, super digestible, 30-minute, 22-minute episodes, 8 of them. You can knock it out in an evening if you wanted to.
Hell
So
yeah, dude.
yeah, really good. One other thing, my DualSense came back. My DualSense Edge came back from repair. I don't know if they replaced it or repaired it, but it works now. The paddle was sticking on the right side. I don't I'm not abusive to my controllers anymore. Uh, and I don't know why it was sticking. Yeah, we've all thrown controllers in our day, but the DualSense Edge, if you throw that one, that's an expensive mistake. But yeah, the paddle was sticking, and I'm not sure why. So reached out to Sony support. It's in a 1-year warranty. Shipped it out. They gave me a label. About a week, they shipped it back. It works fine now. Looks like it was replaced, and it doesn't sync with my PS5 anymore. So I think they replaced the whole thing. There was an internal component that was fucked up on it.
Okay.
So
Well, it's also keep in mind it might also be possible they went ahead and had a test unit and they had to pair it with that unit in
that's
order to
true.
make sure and validate. So I don't know. Well, you know what? If you got a new controller, hell yeah! Especially that
Yeah.
was your 30th anniversary, was it?
No, this was. I have two DualSense edges. This is my black one. The 30th is still going strong. So
Hell yeah. Good, because that
yep.
would be a bitch to replace.
Yes, it would. I fought for that one. Shit, that was crazy. But yeah, that's about all that's in my life, gaming wise. Should we get into housekeeping?
Yeah, I say let's go ahead and hit that.
Awesome. So we wanted to thank everyone for listening to the lengthy two-part series we had on a look back and a look forward for the year. We had a lot of games to cover, so we appreciate your time on that one. Uh, let's see, Spoilercast. We're doing Spoilercast now. The Spoilercast for Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is out. So go take a listen to that. If you don't care about spoilers or you've played the game fully, like I said, we're trying to throw together a Clair Obscure spoiler cast. That game definitely needs talked about. Other than that, so our Discord is growing. We're getting new members by the day. Thank you so much for the community there. We appreciate it. Keep the conversation going. To join Discord, if you're listening to this, you're like, hey, this podcast is cool. I want to be part of the community. To join Discord, the links are going to be on our socials. We have Facebook, Instagram. Just search Shapes of Gaming. We're out there. We're the only ones, and you'll see that invite link on the social pages. For the podcast, you can listen to us on the Apple Podcast app or Spotify. Pretty much any podcast app we're on there. Just search Shapes of Gaming. And if you follow, you'll get the new episodes every week. We post every Thursday morning. And let's see, YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're not on video yet, but you can go to YouTube, search Shapes of Gaming. It's weird because if you search with spaces, it won't come up. But if you search all one word, Shapes of Gaming, we come up. So I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm going to look into that. And yeah, those are our socials. If you follow us, it helps. If you like this podcast and you want to leave a review, like a short one, and rate the podcast, that'd be awesome. That helps us a ton too. But yeah, other than that, it's just we're trying to get this going and build a community and spread the good word about gaming and conversations, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you to everybody that's provided feedback already at this point. Um, it both good and bad, right? We take both sides of that coin, and really take it to heart. I know the most common theme that has been discussed is the length of the podcast, and totally understand. You know, we're asking for the most valuable currency that you have, and that's your time. So we've kept that in mind. First and second episodes were a little bit longer. We're still shaping this thing out, if you will. And we'll definitely we're trying to keep this down, and we'll cut this down to a more reasonable and easier digestible, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
podcast for you to listen to, because we know you got life and you got things to do, and Lord knows sitting here recording for 4 hours is already going to be a take up of my time, and I am willingly doing that. To ask you as the listener is a little rough.
Yeah, the we had a lot to get through, and like I said, we appreciate your time. But yeah, feedback is crucial to us. Any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas, anything you got, send our way on the Discord. We do read it and we listen, and we're on there frequently. So be sure and let us know what you think. So, with that, let's get to some news this week. We have a few things. PlayStation bought a new studio, or created a new studio, I guess. Rolled from another studio they bought. So Team LFG, Team Let's Fucking Go.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I read when I saw that.
me too. Me too. Apparently, it stands for Team Looking for Game. I still see Let's Fucking Go. This was kind of incubated from a lot of people from Bungie, and they're apparently doing the Gummy Bears, codename Gummy Bears game. And this game is supposed to be a MOBA with an art style kind of like Fortnite, they said. So that'll be interesting. I'm not even the least interested, but it's cool. PlayStation's got a new studio. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so this is what's most interesting is this is so I have a couple of thoughts. One, while not necessarily confirmed, this has got to be the Gummy Bears team. We've known for several, well, at least 2 years now, I want to say,
I
about
think
this
it was
project.
confirmed.
Yeah. Was it?
I
I
think
haven't
so.
heard that. I haven't heard that yet. But if not, the
Hulk.
writing was on the wall very well to have this as that Gummy Bears team. And the Gummy Bears team is another, or rather, a project that was being spun off by Bungie. And it makes sense, especially if you look at the way Bungie was purchased and the way things have been going so far. It makes sense to take part of the team that's working on this project, spin it out, see what happens. It's a small, more lean team, so they have the ability to be flexible because Bungie, as we know, is spinning up for Marathon, and that train, you just don't turn it quickly. You got something
Not
for us?
confirmed. Not confirmed. So good call on that. That's why we fact checked. I just want to read a little excerpt of what the blog post says. Our first game is a team based action game that draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog type games. We still don't know what frog type games mean, and Bungie likes to put little cryptic messages and secrets for people to find out. So I think that's one of them. And then this is them saying players will inhabit a light-hearted comedic world set in brand new mythic science fantasy universe. We can't wait to reveal more. So yeah, our thoughts is this is definitely the Gummy Bears team. So, but good call. That hasn't been confirmed. Thought it was. That's why we fact check for you all.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're very welcome there. But yeah, that first sentence you said, our first game is a team-based action game that draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog types. While we don't know what frog types is, you have so many different things put into a blender here. Instead of saying you draw inspiration from X, Y, Z, I'm surprised, to be honest, that it doesn't include Bloodborne or Souls-like games in there. Like,
or Metroidvania.
or Metroidvania. Stop doing word putty at the board. Like, we're the customer. We've been playing these games forever. Don't insult our intelligence about this. And I get
Yep.
it's publicity, and just say you're developing something new and exciting around a fantasy realm and multiplayer or whatever that is. Keep it succinct. Keep the messaging clear, because this muddies the waters. And you give me that description outside of MOBAs, which I play still occasionally. I have zero interest now as a
Yeah.
customer, and I've been playing games, and I play almost about everything short of racing and fighting games. So that description doesn't mean nothing, doesn't get me any excited. Say you're doing something new in this world, or this type of a world that's a fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, and you know what, you might get my attention. So whoever that community manager is, they need to kind of figure that one out.
Right. Like I said, I'm not interested in this. It's really cool that PlayStation is kind of utilizing Bungie because they bought them for a lot, and they're spinning teams off of the core team. But yeah, all of that doesn't really. I'm not interested in those genres or the concept. But it's really cool to see a new team. Sony is creating Team LFG, so that's cool. But I agree with you, Bob. Uh, let's see. Doom comes out today, technically, tomorrow for us, today for you guys, for you listeners. Whenever you're listening to this, if you listen to it on release Thursday, Doom is coming out, is out already. So, Doom: The Dark Ages, check that out. Only issue I have about this, and I wanted to talk about it, Nintendo's doing the same thing, and these are called key games. What this is, you and I are both very physical heavy gamers. We enjoy our physical copies of games. I appreciate being able to play a game offline, not having to check in. Hell, Xbox pretty much shit the bed when they announced, "Oh yeah, your games are gonna have to check in every 24 hours. You can't let anyone borrow them." And Sony uh, just completely demolished them in 2013 with that ad we talked about last episode. But it seems that Doom: The Dark Ages, if you buy a physical copy of this, you are going to get a plastic box, the paper insert, and a plastic disc with nothing. Well, the game isn't on it, but it literally has a license code on it, and it requires you to download the game. This sucks. And Nintendo is doing the same thing with third party. A lot of the third party Switch 2 games are what's called key games. Nintendo shows them a little better and says, "Hey, this is a key game," has a little key icon. On the Doom cover art, it's just a little tiny white banner at the bottom left, super small, that says "Internet required, download required," and that's it. And I fucking hate this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, as a collector myself, yeah, you can see the collection behind me. For those that don't have video, I've got a nice little wall going on. But I'm telling you, man, I'm split. I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But I'm also slowly coming to accept that this might be the way forward. Because I
Yeah.
think about the cartridge world during the early days, and the prices of cartridges going up before CDs hit, because the amount of data that can only be put on them um, restricted the hell out of what could be put into a game. Cut content is notorious in classic games because you only had an 8 megabyte cartridge, for example, which I believe was the largest you had for the SNES at the time. Things of that nature, right? So now we're reaching that point where even if you have the base game that could fit on the CD or the DVD or whatever format you want to talk about, you still have day one patches. You still have XYZ that's coming along with it. And let's be honest, the only thing that I'm really upset with, and I have yet to check this, and I think this would be a good bridge the gap for somebody like me, is okay, if I buy the disc and I pop it in, is there a way And Microsoft tried this, but they got 2013, but they got blown up. Is there a way to tie that game to my account so if something happens to the disc, I can re-download the game? But I don't need you going. The catch is the secondhand replayability. Like with Nintendo carts, or like if you sell in a game and then GameStop sells it to somebody else, that disc is then tied. That would be the only thing I could think of. But I think you could figure it out. But corporations want money, so guess what? They're going to get money from us.
Yeah. To be clear, key games on the Switch 2 and apparently now on PlayStation 5 for Doom: The Dark Ages. So you have to download the entire game. Nothing is on the disc. Your typical game has the entire game on the disc. Of course, it requires day one patches, right? But you have to download the entire game. Nothing's written to the disc. The disc is put in the optical drive to read the license key that says you own it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I ran into an issue with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I had the digital version and I have the physical version because I got the digital on PS Plus for free. It's another reason I get physical versions, because a lot of stuff that I get comes to PS Plus for free. And so you're like, oh, I already buy it, or oh, nice, I have the digital version now. But I didn't have an internet connection for some reason. New construction around here. Couldn't play Assassin's Creed Valhalla digital. Went on the shelf, got the Valhalla disc, popped it in, booted up, played it just fine. And it actually read that I had the digital version and just used the disc based, I guess, license for me to play it. But I didn't have an internet connection, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, dude, this is the way it's going. I'm not denying that. I'm gonna go fuck kicking and screaming. And yes, digital's super convenient, but like you, I have my display of all the games and I see them as art pieces. When you come over, we literally spend like 30 minutes in front, and like I'll pull one out and I'm like, what'd you think of this game? And it's a conversation starter. And I think one of the podcast main topics we should have in the future is digital versus physical, the ups and downs of both. Yeah, I see it as art, and it's so cool to display, and it's awesome to see all those spines. And digital's convenient, but I'm not a big fan of it. I'm also a big proponent of ownership, and when you don't have the game physical, it's like, do you really own it? And I mean the digital version of what Lego Lord of the Rings. If someone bought it, they pulled it from the store because they lost licensing rights with WB, and you can't play it. You bought it, it's gone unless you have it downloaded.
Yeah, no, it's funny you mentioned that. This is the one thing and the reason why I'm for it,
Yeah.
or keeping that physical. Thank God I have it. Came across this recently. Sea of Stars. I wanted to go check out the DLC. I had enough time this week in between games. I got the Sea of Stars with the PlayStation Plus when it was part of the platform for free. Went and bought the disc version because I really wanted to support the developer. I went to go back to play it and check the DLC, and I was going to spend the whatever no, it's a free DLC, so I was going to just download it and go from there. I go into the PlayStation Store. It doesn't recognize I have the digital version, even though I have the platinum, because
Hmm.
they pulled it from the platform. So
Yeah.
now it wants me to pay $35 for the game. And now I'm stuck in this limbo where I'm like, no. But I'm
That
also stuck in
sucks.
a limbo because I don't want to open my sealed copy of Sea of Stars, which will probably never be worth anything. But like you said,
Understandable.
it is a conversation starter. Without those conversation starters and with your friends, I couldn't pull off the shelf and say, "Hey, you see the signed disc from Metal Gear Solid?" Like, don't. That's how you have conversations with your friends about that stuff, and you show them the cool things. Flex on them a little bit if you want. But yeah, it kind of sucks. But I'm gonna go, like you said, I'm gonna go kicking and screaming the whole time, whole way.
Yeah, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's corporate friendly. Like it's to the benefit of the publisher and the storefront owner to be digital, because they have complete control over it. It is not consumer friendly, other than a convenience standpoint, because you don't own it. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's ultimately it's gonna happen, and yeah, I'll go kicking and screaming. But yeah, Doom: The Dark Ages. There's no game on there. I still got the physical copy. It's coming tomorrow. I'm excited for it. Let's see. The Nintendo Today app. Do you have that app?
Yes, of course I do. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome app. It's cool. It's light, and every day you get a nice little animation depending on the theme you have set. I of course have Zelda theme set. Why would I not?
Oh, I didn't know you could change the themes because I selected whatever I wanted to get. I just selected everything for news feeds.
I learned that. I learned that you can choose the theme because I saw one of my friends had the app and I was like, how the fuck do you get Link on here? I just have Mario. And they're like, oh, choose your theme. And I'm like, well, shit. So, Nintendo Today, you can get on the App Store. We got a really awesome little clip from Metroid Prime 4, and it's called Samus Arrives. And this just looks incredible, feels incredible, and like you said, it reminds us of the opener for Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, where she's flying in. Um, I don't know if I'll go too much into the trailer because you can choose to watch it or not for spoilers. But she's flying in her ship and she lands, and it's really cool. And it shows off Metroid Prime 4 on the Switch too. So if you want to take a look, it's like a minute and 30 seconds or something. Uh, Go check it out. It's really awesome, and I'm very impressed with the graphics and the performance. This game's going to run 1080 60 and 4K 120, and that's really impressive for a Nintendo console. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that video. Did you watch it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
My only regret is it's in the Nintendo Now app. I couldn't find a
yeah,
link anywhere online because
right.
I want to see it blown up for one particular reason. Um, you've already discussed what we already immediately were Revenge of the Sith, but is the ship. The little known fact is so you can't really see the ship flying in the original like Metroid Prime, but there are some certain Easter eggs with that ship for the designer because it was the first true sci-fi ship that he got to do from like scratch. So he kind of was like, "Ooh, let me add little inspiration pieces." So there's actually some Star Wars inspiration. I'll let you guys go look at
Hmm.
that trivia on the original ship, but it's with the guns on the underside that you never see. So now I want to blow it and set it up on my phone. I want to put it on my big 65-inch TV with the OLED and go okay and start going and examining, being that uber nerd and going pixel by pixel. That's my only regret. Maybe there is a way to do it out there. I didn't honestly take enough time to look, and if not, that's my only sad piece. Otherwise, I am super excited. And Metroid Prime, this just makes me more excited for that damn game, man.
Oh yeah. We could watch it on my uh, OLED iPad, and we could. It's a little bigger, yeah. So we'll do that, and I'm curious now too. But yeah, it's the ship from Corruption, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. It's the ship she flies. No spoilers for the end credits video, but it ties right into that. We're going straight from Prime 3 Corruption right into Prime 4 Beyond. So I couldn't be more excited. It's still my most anticipated game of the year because I just platinumed my previous most anticipated game of the year, which yeah, blew away my expectations. But yeah, that video looks cool. Go check it out. Lastly, just a real quick Helldivers news. We got some Helldivers news because we play Helldivers. We have a lot of listeners that play Helldivers. Helldivers Illuminate is coming out, and this is basically just a new free update with new enemy types, not a new enemy faction. Because when I read enemy types, I was like, "What? We're having a new enemy faction?" Because I still think a fourth one's coming, but no new enemy types. You can read up on it. I don't. If you don't want it spoiled, I won't spoil it. But it's on the PlayStation blog, and you're getting a new season content. You're getting a new little pass to spend credits on and stuff like that. Helldivers is such a good time. We both platinumed it, and we love it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. My only regret with this update, and I'll let people go read it, is the fact that the year of 2025 is a banger year of video games. So my ability to get in and play it is very limited because Helldivers is it is a black hole game for me, as you would always say all the time, Matt, where it's a
Yeah.
game you could just keep going back to the well and you're going to enjoy it every time. I don't think there was a time when I was playing Helldivers where I was frowning. I was grinning ear to ear the entire time. I miss being able to jump in with the boys and spread some managed democracy. So that's the one thing I'm super excited to see that they're still supporting this game as they
Oh, yeah.
should. But I'm just sad because they are going up against they got a live service game racked up against a massive year of games.
Oh yeah, there have been banger after banger released, and we're not even halfway through 2025. So yeah, I'm at the same place there. Love to play some Helldivers. Maybe we'll jump in, just kill some bugs, and do a dive or two. I don't know. Check out the new update. I checked out the update when you could drive cars, and we were all in the car. We were all like, it's basically the Halo Warhog. Let's be honest, and that was really fun. So maybe I'll check it out. Uh, that wasn't the last thing. Just this is lastly, there was something announced that is very, I don't know, you could call it obscure or unique to me or us, but MAGFest. MAGFest is Music and Games Festival. Okay, not a lot of people know this. It's in National Harbor, Maryland. It's in late January, mid to late January. You, Bob, basically take Comic Con, uh, Penny Arcade Expo, PAX. Let's throw PSX in there, PlayStation Experience, for those of you that know that. And orchestra, live video game music, full stage, full arena. Pack that, combine all those, pack it into 4 days, and put it all in a very luxurious hotel resort on one of the bays around Washington, D.C. And then cram it full of everyone that's passionate about games and, most importantly, video game music, as well as cosplayers. You get MAGFest. I went for the first time in 2023 with a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, too. Shout out to Infinity's End. He was constantly talking me into going, and I loved it. And it's the best time ever if you are into games or video game music. And we got the theme today, and it is Mega Man X themed. They have a theme every year. Theme last year was Sonic. The theme the first year I went was Metroid Prime. Uh, yeah, Mega Man themed MAGFest. I'm super excited for this.
You don't not understand the level.
I
Words
do.
cannot describe my level of excitement for this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you say music, video game music, and you slap Mega Man on there, I immediately start thinking of the Mega Man X soundtrack in my head. I mean, don't get me wrong, you've got everything from Legends and Battle Network and the OG, and I could go on and on. The point is, Mega Man X is the definitive video game soundtrack for me. I could hear it in my head at on command at any given time, front to back. It doesn't matter. So as soon as you say the Blue Bomber is coming as a theme, I will sell my kidney and wake up in a motel bathtub full of ice in order to make it there. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this.
Yeah, it's happening. We're going. No question. We're going. And when I say this is like a big festival that not a lot of people have heard about, the like top 3 performers I saw last year, or should I say this year, it was early January. You ever heard of Power Glove?
Who hasn't?
Right. Power Glove did the DMC soundtrack. They were there. I saw them live. Bit Brigade, they were
Oh,
there. Saw them live. There's a lot of pretty famous musicians and bands here. I saw Master Boot Record. If anyone knows them, they probably stole. I think Power Glove or them stole the show. And when I say like a arena stage, this is full production, like blast your ears, metal, synth, just a concert. And they have probably 3 every night for 4 days. I'm telling you. Like, check it out. We're going to be talking about MAGFest throughout Shapes of Gaming, these podcasts, because we're going to be hyping it up, and we're going. We might try and do a podcast in the hotel. We're not going to promise anything because hotel Wi-Fi sucks, but we'll look into it. So yeah, MAGFest. Look it up. Go to magfest.com or just search MAGFest. If you're a gamer and you love video game music, this is the best event. It's not cheap, but totally worth it. Totally worth it. So I'm excited for you to go, and I'm excited to go. This will be my third one. So I wanted to give a shout out to that. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody has a trouble finding it, just follow me because I'm going to be the one screaming like a little schoolgirl the entire way there.
Yep. Exactly. So what do you say we get into our main topic?
Yeah, let's hit this road.
Heck yeah. All right. So the main topic for this one, as you saw in the title of the episode, is the rise of indies and AA games. And we're kind of going to go into, all the indie games we love, all the AA games that are coming out. What's going on, man? Why are the AA games taking over? And there's so many indies. I play as many indies as AAA games. I think you do too. We're a big fan of indies. And we just kind of wanted to talk about indies and AA games and give them kind of the limelight. So
Yeah.
let's see. Let's define a indie game. So what is an indie game, and what's it stand for? An indie game is an independent developed game. It refers to basically an independent game, and they don't really have a publisher. They're a small dev team, and there's a lot of passion that goes into indie games because they're not AAA. They don't have a big publisher behind them pushing them to make content specifically for money. And that's why I play them, because you can see the passion and just that gamers make this. And there's so many indie games out there.
Yeah. To be clear, so the indie developers are the small teams that typically are not signed on with a publisher at all on any kind of level, and they're literally pitching from this person to this person. Here's my idea. Here's my idea, and you're giving the elevator pitches, and you're trying to get out there. I just, I have a theory, Matt, as to why we're seeing the rise of indie games. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think so everybody attributes it to XBLA from back in the day, and I agree. But the problem is that's dead in the water. Xbox
Right.
Live Arcade. For anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, that's where Super Meat Boy and stuff like that, and Castle Crashers. My God, what a game!
Oh yeah.
Came from. I think we start looking at the ability for developers to cut out the middleman on trying to pitch their or their ideas to publishers.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a game for good, and this is a double-edged sword. You can take your game, go through, pay out the money. There's always a fee. That's almost a gatekeeper, and put your game out onto a platform, Steam, a PSN, whatever, right? And boom, guess what? You're in the door. That's a double-edged sword, but hey, you know what? I think that is the definition, or that is the key as to why we're seeing the rise of these indie games. And the second half of that, there was two parts that I may have failed to mention, is quite frankly, love it or hate it, it's the YouTubers and the streamers, man. The Twitch streamers. They get a hold of they get a hold of a game. They think it's funny. They get good stream numbers, and then next thing you know, boom, boom, boom. If it wasn't, listen to me now, folks. If you do not know what I'm about to say, I apologize. But if it was not for Matthew Patrick, aka the Theorist, Five Nights at Freddy's would not be where it is at today. I'm not saying he got it started, but what I'm saying is its meteoric rise was because of him.
Yeah.
And Scott Cawthorn put him in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie as one of those acknowledgments.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And yeah, when you think of an indie game, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, pixel art game. No dig against pixel art. I love pixel art. They're some of my favorite games. But we just got an indie AA game that came out in Unreal Engine 5. And Unreal Engine 5 is a tool that anyone can use, anyone can learn, and it's available there, and it's an incredible engine. And the game I'm talking about, believe it or not, is Clair Obscure Expedition 33. That's probably going to be our game of the year. How this happened was the creative director, I might butcher his name, Guillaume Brochet. I don't know.
Close enough.
It's French. Uh, he worked at Ubisoft, and he was just tired of making their games. And I some games at Ubisoft are good. I play a lot of Ubisoft games, but you gotta admit they're a big publisher and they sometimes chase money. And he had a game in mind that he wanted to make because he loved specific types of games: Sekiro, Final Fantasy, turn-based JRPGs. And I don't know if it was pitched or he wanted to pitch it, but it probably wouldn't be greenlit anyway, or it wasn't greenlit. And he said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to create my own dev team." He went on Reddit and he built this dev team. He grabbed the composer from SoundCloud. He grabbed a bunch of his dev team from Reddit, and it's about 30-ish people, give or take. And he basically just made a game that people wanted to make, that they all had a vision, and he made a game that he wanted to play. He's a Sekiro speedrunner. Did you know that?
I've heard the rumors about this.
Yeah, no, he said he was, and I think like he has his favorite games. Final Fantasy VIII is one of them, so he was heavily inspired by Final Fantasy and a lot of games that we love.
I see you're a man of culture as well.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's good. He has a passion.
Yeah. So he created this dev team. He used Unreal Engine 5. He grabbed some really great voice actors. You got the goat out there, Ben Starr. He voices someone in the game, we'll just say. And you have his name escapes me. Look it up. He did Gollum. Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis, big name. He did Gollum. He did Snoke in what was it? The last Jedi. He did Snoke, and Charlie Cox, Daredevil. He does Gustave, the primary protagonist of the game. This game, I played it front to back. I did end game everything. I platinumed the game. You can go look. It was phenomenal, and it's a AA game. And we're seeing PlayStation, we're seeing Xbox, support these small indie ventures like the China Hero Project. They're grabbing small little developers and they're saying, "Hey, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna throw you some money to make your game." And Black Myth Wukong, they did it. That was Unreal Engine 4, if I'm not mistaken. But that was a really good game too. So the rise of these indies, I love that these big conglomerates, PlayStation, Xbox, even EA. EA does the EA originals. They're pulling some. Is it UE4 or UE5?
So it initially started on UE4, but it developed ultimately on UE5. By the way.
Okay, gotcha. Fact check. Thank you. Clair Obscure and Clair Obscure and Black Myth, they're gorgeous games. Clair Obscure, hands down, and this has a lot of weight to it, is the prettiest game I've ever played. Now, there's some blooming and light effects in there that are interesting, but looking at it in a AA perspective, you're like, holy shit. Like the 1% of polish that goes into like AAA that probably takes another $1 million to $2 million to do is not there, right? But that it doesn't matter. You play a pixel art game, Final Fantasy VII, the original. Look how that looked, right? I know we're in 2025, but UE5, they utilized it. It's gorgeous. There are some graphical, interesting things in it. But yeah, dude, AA game. It will get Game of the Year, Bob. And I'm gonna stand on this hill. I'm going to stand on this hill. You know why? I played it front to back. It's my game of the year so far. We there's a lot of games coming out that could top it. Probably not. I thought this about Rebirth in April too, and nothing topped it. This is a game that drips passion and creativity that speaks to creators and artists. And guess what most of the people on the judge panel for the Game Awards are?
I don't know. I've never looked.
They're creators. Kind of Funny is one. They're creators and artists, and they create content just like us. They do podcasts. I think it's going to speak to them on a different level, and they're going to. The only thing it has against it is it came out early in the year, so that sometimes there's some recency bias with the game of the year at the Game Awards. But I think these creators and these artists are. It's really going to resonate with them. I mean, it did with me. We're technically creators. I really do think it's going to get Game of the Year. And another thing it has going for it, it's a double A. They're the underdog. Keeley likes bringing people on stage that don't get a lot of limelight. And yeah, I'm going to stand on this hill and I'm going to say Clair Obscur right now, mid-May, is going to get Game of the Year in early December at the Game Awards. It has my Game of the Year. It's probably going to stay my Game of the Year. Probably. I mean, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out, so we'll see. Yeah, I think it's going to get Game of the Year for that reason. It drips creativity and passion, and I'm going to talk even more about this in the what we're playing. So
Yeah, no, I can tell you're excited and passionate about it, and that's what a good game does. First and
exactly,
foremost, like it generates. You can see somebody's really excited about it, and they want to talk about it, and then it's like sitting around at the lunch table as a kid, and you're like, "Did you see? Oh my god!" and so on
yeah,
and so forth. But I will say that is a bold statement because you're forgetting about something that's coming. Well, you're not forgetting,
Death
but you're
Stranding
you're
2 and
you're
Ghost. I'm not. I'm not forgetting.
no. You're overshadowing the possibility that in less than a month, SGF hits and we see something that's been cooking for a while. I don't know what
Oh,
it is.
Shadow Drops.
And Shadow drops and hits you within the next 4 months. I have my hopes and dreams and wishes. One, because of the type of gamer I am, and two, because of my our league that I think hits.
Oh
And
yeah.
you know what I'm alluding to, but
Mm-hmm.
that's good because if I have to be, I haven't played it, Claire. And when I get to it, probably right before Death Stranding 2, that's my goal. It'll be a good perspective because one of the games
Yep.
I on where what we're playing that I'm going to talk about is very much a distance from the original launch. So I give a little bit of a different perspective because it's a little bit of clarity in getting out of the zeitgeist. Because quite frankly, I know what my current game of the year is, so we'll see if it gets topped. Because my current game of the year is not really a triple A, if you
Mm-mm.
look at it, and
It
that's
used to be my game of the year.
yeah, and that's the good old split fiction right there.
Oh yeah.
So shout out because those are passion projects. That goes to my game, one of my games of the year last year, which started off as a passion project, and I know you refuse to play it because you know what'll happen, and that's
Not gonna
Block
do it.
from last year.
Yeah, it's
Um,
free, and I still don't. I'm not even gonna play it. It's free on PS Plus, and I'm like,
the
no.
community needs to get on the mat and get him to play it because he needs to be one of us.
No,
One of us.
it's not that I don't think the game's going to be good. It's not that I'm not interested. It's actually both of those are the opposite. I'm very interested in it, and I think it's going to be great. And I think I'm going to fucking drop like 100 hours into it. And I know myself, if I start and I pop one trophy, I'm like, let's just see if I can finish it. And then I'll pop like 10 trophies, and I'm like, let's just platinum it. Let's see how that goes. No, I know that dance. I know myself well. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Even
Oh.
even if it's free, it looks like a great game. I'm not really into card games. Inscription was an exception, but yeah, even Blueprints. Blueprints has a really good rating, but I just know these games are going to suck me in. I do like math in games. Claire has math in the buildcraft, but yeah, I don't know.
You know what the problem with Balatro is, and this is why I know it'll get you.
What?
I don't remember who was mentioning it. I apologize if somebody knows the creator I'm talking about off the top of my head. The thing with Balatro versus other games like Returnal, other roguelite lights, whatever you want to call them, Hades, is Balatro is really easy to restart a run on. So if you're playing
Oh
Returnal
God. Yeah.
and you're like, oh no, I think I can do this, and I'm on a really good run, and you think you're going to make it, and you get chopped down. Balatro, you can go, nope, I know this isn't going to be for me. You hit the pause menu, hit restart, boom, you're back in, and that
That
is an
sounds
addiction.
dangerous.
Yeah, it's an addiction because it keeps you on the edge the entire time. It keeps you going. It quite frankly is an addiction, folks.
Ooh, that sounds dangerous. Black hole game. Ooh. But yeah, another indie game that's awesome. And I think these indie games, especially Claire, it's going to be a spark that lights a fire. Especially with Claire, I think we're going to see more turn-based games. Hell, Square might even look at the success of Claire and be like, maybe we should do a turn-based game because they're like, nobody likes turn-based games. We need to go action. Now they've created some phenomenal hybrid action-based games that are in my top 5 RPGs. Final Fantasy 16. No matter how much flack it got, I loved it for what it was. From an RPG standpoint, not your traditional RPG, but was so fun, cinematic. I loved it. Uh, I do like Claire better though.
Oh, you
Claire
should, as you
Claire is
should.
above 16, so that's pretty crazy. Both voice actors, Clive and the other guy in Claire Obscure, both voiced by Ben Starr. So yeah, uh, I think to did you have anything else you wanted to talk about indie games before we go into our indie games that we recommend?
I will say, it's not necessarily the indie games, but can we just as a shout out, this is for good and bad, but Ben Starr is the Pedro Pascal of video game voice actors right now. He is in
Oh yeah.
everything. And to be honest, I'm here for it.
Yep. Yep. I would love for that man to narrate my life, maybe sing me a bedtime lullaby so I could sleep better. Uh, and I wouldn't mind being cradled in his arms.
He's the only other person that could voice Snake, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I could see it. I watched that behind the voices for Claire, and I love that he said, or no, this was on. This was actually a shout out to Summon Sign, another podcast we listened to. He was on that podcast, and he said they were like, "What makes a good voice actor?" And he said, "Take your voice, and if you can put it in the palm of your hands and feel it, then that makes a good voice actor." And I heard that, and then I went and heard this specific individual in Claire, and I was like, yeah, I see that. There's depth and there's volume and almost an object of a voice in what he's trying to portray. And I gotta say, the uh, character that he voiced in Claire Obscure, my favorite one, but I'm not gonna tell you who it is because you got to play the game.
Ah, you know I'm going to be there.
Yeah, you will. I'm super excited for you to play. We're going to talk all about it. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Ben Starr is a gem in the voice acting community. He's almost up there when it comes to being in everything with Troy Baker. Troy Baker's going to be in Death Stranding too, and he
Yes,
was
he will be.
in Indy. He was in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle that just came out. So yeah. Uh, Talking about indie and double A games, we're going to give you our top 3 indie games that we've recently played. When I say recently, like last 5 years, I'd say. So take it away, Bob. What's your first one? We'll alternate.
Okay. Yeah. So I've already alluded to my first one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sorry to give that spoiler, but it was such a good leverage in. That's Local Funk's Balatro. What can I say about this? If you like poker, or correction, if you like roguelites and you don't understand anything about poker, still play this game. That's the best way to describe this game, because it will give you everything you need. It scratches something in your brain. If you're the kind of person that I am, and the reason I play a lot of RPGs is because big number go burr. That is going to be Balatro for you. And you see, Matt's laughing. You know why I'm laughing, bud, because you know exactly what kind of addiction that it is. There's
Oh
a
yeah.
reason this game was on everybody's Game of the Year list last year, and that's why I put it in there. Because, quite frankly, it is one of my. It is probably my favorite, if not my favorite. Probably one of my second favorite indie games in the last 5 years. There is a simplicity in design that keeps you hooked but doesn't ask for microtransactions. They could easily inject microtransactions, and with the addiction level of this game, people would pay more than they do for Fortnite skins, but they don't. They
Oh
ask for you
wow.
for your $10, and they ask you to challenge yourself, and that's
I
what I
respect
care
that.
about.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
and you can customize the cards. So they've done collabs.
Yeah,
Go look it up.
I heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Looping back to Ben Starr for one of the award shows, he actually dressed up as the Joker and accepted the award for Balatro because the developer, the one single guy, I believe, is anonymous. He doesn't want to know. He doesn't want people to know who he is. He hired or asked Ben Starr to do this, and Ben Starr as the Joker from Balatro is terrifying and very interesting at the same time. If you're curious about it, go look it up. Ben Starr as the Joker for Balatro, accepting, was it a Dice Award or was it
Um,
BAFTA? It was BAFTA. It
BAFTA. Go
was
look it up.
BAFTA.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it is just.
Yep.
It is amazing.
Oh yeah. He's very funny. And Ben Starr's a gamer too. That's the cool thing. But enough about him. We'll talk about him many more times on the podcast. One, I was actually laughing because Endgame Clair, I was hitting 6-figure numbers on my damage. So you said big numbers go burr. Yeah, Claire, you can build craft and hit those 6-figure numbers in Endgame.
Oh gosh. All right.
Yeah.
So now you've got my attention.
Yep. Big numbers go burr, definitely in that game. My first one, our second one actually is the same. So I changed it. So I can't wait to hear your second one. And I'm going to talk into that too because it's one of my favorites. My first one is Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars came out in 2023. The great Sabotage studio. They made The Messenger, which is another really great indie game. But Sea of Stars is incredible. It's pixel art. It was a Kickstarter. I actually helped kickstart it because I loved the concept. And Sea of Stars was teased in The Messenger by Sabotage Studio. They've been working on it forever. It's a turn-based JRPG, incredible music, some of from the likes of the composer of Chrono Trigger. And what can I say about this game? The characters, the story, all incredible. It has the reaction based combat like Claire does and like Paper Mario and Mario RPG, but it also has a combat mechanic with locks on the enemies. And you have different attack types. So you have blunt, you have uh, like slash, or you have moon or sun. And to if you break all these locks, let's say an enemy has a sun, a moon, and a blunt lock. You approach the enemy, you do a sun attack, it breaks a lock. You do a moon attack, it breaks another lock. You do a blunt attack, it breaks the lock and then staggers them. So it's really cool and it makes you like have varied combat, and there are a lot of damage types and there are a lot of different characters. uh Claire has a stagger bar too, so kind of the same concept, but the locks aren't there, but you can break an enemy in Claire. So yeah, Sea of Stars, turn-based JRPG, incredible studio. Can't wait to see what they do next. Amazing story, awesome music, really engaging characters. I there's a huge twist in the game. Just go play the game. I platinumed it. I loved it, and I'm very excited for the DLC coming out in like 10 days, 5 days, 6 days, 6 days. It comes out. So Throes of the Watchmaker. But yeah, Sea of Stars. Shout out. Go play it. It's amazing.
Oh, dude. So I will say, the you saw my list because I put them in our document notes.
Mhm.
There were certain games I avoided on this indie list because I knew
Ah,
you were already going to speak to them. So
nice.
to be very clear, Sea of Stars is not on my list, but it very much would be.
Yep,
But I wanted to give some love out to the other games that are out there.
definitely.
Absolutely, one of my favorite indie RPGs within the last 10 years, hands down.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's incredible.
yeah, man. All right, so we should move on to the next one because I knew you kind of teased it. I know you want to talk about this. You want to talk about this
No, I
too.
want to hear what your thoughts are primarily because I recommended this game to you.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, that's exactly it. Um, so how do I put this? Hey, kids, do you like Zelda? But do you like not playing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? Well, guess what? I have a game for you. This is Kenya Bridge of Spirits. This came out in what, 2019,
Uh, Kane
2021?
Bridge of Spirits came out in 2021.
Yep,
Um,
2021.
yep,
Um, what can I say? Outside of the fact that this came from a small lab or a small studio, Ember Lab, and this game went right under my radar, and I absolutely regret it. Um, I'm not joking when I say it is very Zelda, old school Zelda, like think Ocarina of Time 3D inspired, where you're going, you collect this item or this power up, and this gives you access to do this next cool thing. But don't forget, because you got that, you can go back on the map and get additional collectibles. And those collectibles allow you to upgrade your character, which gives you other cool moves. It's got this almost like a modern sensibility in that regard. um, as for the story, I think it is very, very heartbreaking and very emotional. Um, it's one of those when I look at a story and I go to for the surface level and I'm like, oh, I- how do I put this without
it's a
spoiling other
tearjerker for
games?
sure. Right.
It is a tearjerker, but it's one of those you have to look beyond and look deep into it, read into a little bit. And it's a game that even if you don't understand, quite frankly, everything that's going on, like you're like, what's this place? What's this person? You're still gonna look at it and you're like, oh, that's actually pretty sad because you feel the emotion that's told out of it. Um, and look at me, I'm already wanting to tear up because that game is. This is. I haven't. But full disclosure, I haven't finished it yet. I had to break for something else, and I haven't come back to it. And I'm going to
Understandable.
tell you, I'm going to come back to it because not only is this game good, not only does it feel fun to play, not only is the story emotionally driven, it is challenging on top of that. It's not an indie game where you're like, "Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun, but it only took me 10 hours to beat." I am currently stuck on a boss right now, and I'm not gonna give out spoilers.
The
I
one
have
you played
been
over here.
getting Yeah, I am getting my ass kicked.
That's definitely
And
a
it
skill check for sure.
and it's
A
a
big
skill
one.
check. You definitely have to do that meme of sitting up and looking at it, but sitting upright in the chair and taking it serious. So that's the other reason I've gotten back to it because I need to really like focus, and I haven't had that chance yet. But yeah, Kenya, Bridge of Spirits, I absolutely recommend this if you haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I played Kana on launch and I saw the announcement. I fell in love with it. Ember Lab, a very interesting studio. PlayStation found them because they made a fan made CG Majora's Mask short. And not to mention, this game looks like a damn Pixar movie made in Unreal Engine 4, I believe. Double check that. Yeah, Unreal Engine 4. Uh, it's about, and this was all in the marketing, so not a spoiler. It's about a little girl goes around, helps spirits passed over after they die. So it plays off of that, and yeah, it looks like a Pixar movie. It is tough. I did platinum this game. One of the trophies requires you to play it on the hardest difficulty, which is called Master Spirit difficulty or Spirit Master. You basically get one hit with everything, and I almost put it down because it was so challenging. But dude, I love this game. It was my indie game of the year for 2021. Uh, Kana, it was a early like launch window PS5 title. Incredible indie, and I'm so glad you played it. I'm excited for you to finish it. We'll get you past that boss. I can give you a build that I use that is very good against that particular boss. We'll get you past it. But I'm glad you're liking it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say enough good things about this game, man.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, really good, really good. That was my second one too. So, but I did have some honorable mentions. I had three of them. I'm gonna pull from there. What can I say? Hollow Knight, Team Cherry, Hollow Knight, awesome. Shocker. I know everyone is going to be shocked by this, but it is a Metroidvania. It is beautiful, gorgeous art, very unique story. I'd say it is a Souls like Metroidvania if I were to categorize it. And yes, I know those are the buzzwords, but we don't say them lightly. And there are a lot of Souls like elements to it. This game is really hard. Hollow Knight is very hard. I don't even have the platinum. Technically I do have the base game platinum, but when the Hollow Knight deluxe edition or the full edition came out on PS5, they combined the DLC list with the main game list for the trophies, and that DLC is some of the hardest stuff. I went through the hardest platforming level, the White Palace. It's the hardest platforming I've ever done in a game, and I love platforming games. But the DLC is next to near impossible, and I'm just not going to dump another 60 hours in learning the moves of the boss gauntlet that you go through in the pantheon of the gods. Uh, Incredible game, very challenging, very pretty. We hopefully are going to get the sequel this year. It's been teased for a while. It follows Hornet, Hollow Knight's the little guy's friend. Uh, yeah, dude, this game was really cool. You played it, right? You played it.
Sorry, I was muted there.
You're good.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. Um, I will say this game had I don't remember why, but it had me checked out early on. But I could tell you this much, game recognizes game. And this I can look at it and you can see this is a top tier indie game.
Oh
It
yeah.
does not take much. If you have an eye and you play enough games like we do, you can see that right out the gate. And this is one of those I can tell you already that it's going to be one of those that it's a good game. I think it's probably just a little too much. There's something about it that, and I don't know if it's the difficulty or whatever, or
Is it when
maybe
you die you lose all your shit? Because that's really frustrating.
look, I platinum Elden Ring. That's not
Oh,
a problem.
nice. Okay, cool.
Um, the problem is there's something about it that just I know if I go into it, I'm gonna either throw my controller across the wall, or I'm gonna be so dived into it and dedicated that I'm gonna miss everything else. So I've learned I
Right.
know better on this one, but absolutely, Hollow Knight. I'm just glad to, and I'm glad to see that it's supposedly coming this year because I'm tired of seeing the Hollow Knight fans get shafted year after year.
Right. Yeah. This has been on our draft for the last 2 years, or the other draft. It's on the draft this year, and I actually have it because I do think it's going to drop. We saw a clip, like literally 3 seconds of gameplay at the Switch 2 reveal. I think we're going to see more Summer Game Fest, and we're going to do a Summer Game Fest prediction episode for you all. So that's going to be one of mine. I think it is dropping this year, and it's going to hit. Hollow Knight, I think got like high 80s last time, so I think it's going to be great. The Team Cherry's an incredible developer. We're gonna get another banger. So yeah, what's your third one?
All right. So first, I want to say you're gonna get Silk Song. Right. I'm gonna get my game, Judas, before you get Silk Song at this rate.
Right. True.
I all jokes aside, um, I put this third one on here because I knew you hadn't played it. And the reason I put it on here is people are gonna roll their eyes and be like, "Oh my goodness, you're glazing a game that got hit by the community." Um, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a reason I have this on this game, and it's because I've played other games like it, but they came from the race to the bottom platform that is mobile. But it was a type of game that was like, oh my god, there's something here. I wish this was on a bigger screen, right? And that's Vampire Survivors. Um, I
I have
know,
played it. I haven't
yeah,
finished it.
Yeah, I know you have. So Vampire Survivors is a great example of what I mean by gameplay is king, and what the gameplay loop needs to be solid. Otherwise, the rest of it it kind of falls apart. Tetris is a good example of that, right? What story is there in Tetris? Oh, everybody knows the main theme for Tetris. There's two songs that we know out of Tetris, Type A, Type
Oh yeah,
B, right? Um, but outside of that, people still play it because the gameplay loop is addicting. Vampire Survivors is the same way, except you used to see people. When I heard the community talking about it and going, "Oh, Vampire Survivors is amazing," I checked it out, and they're like, "This is really unique." Some people were attacking it for its art asset style being a little too on the nose with its inspiration, but then I kind of went, guys, this game exists already, but it's on the mobile platform that nobody wants to play. With games like Archero, as an example, right? And all you're doing is you're running around and you're auto shooting. You can literally play this game with one hand. That's what I mean by this appears on mobile before anybody else, and you can run
right.
around and you're just doing auto shoots, and then you're picking up power ups and you're just throwing down wave after enemy. And the idea is the game encourages you to break it. So you pick up power ups and then you can level up those power ups and then you can feed that into other stuff. So eventually you end up with this, oh my God, build. And I'm telling you, Matt, I've gotten my build so powerful because I'm gold farming or farming for currency. I'll set my controller down and walk away. And
Nice.
and
That's
I
awesome.
and enemies constantly get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as the game goes. I have gone almost 2 hours of just letting my controller sit there as I'm farming currency because I broke the game fundamentally that much, but
That's
the game
amazing.
encourages you to do that. So absolutely, Vampire Survivors, if you want a stupid, I can turn my brain off, after I smoke a big fat bowl kinda game or drink a big beer, this is the game for you.
Beautiful. Yeah, I had a friend come over. We played it for a little bit. Very fun, very addicting. The trophy list is insane. There's like 300 or some trophies, 400. Don't tell me you 100% of that.
I have almost every one of them except for the last like DLC, maybe the second one.
Yeah.
I went through and did everything, Matt. I have the platinum. I've done everything except for like the last one that just
Dang.
recently came out. I was addicted to this game.
That is commendable, and I am impressed. How many? There's like 20 DLC lists in that trophy list, isn't there? That's awesome.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Let me
Okay.
look
Look
at
that
that
up
up while you talk about your third one.
for sure. I'm gonna give my other two honorable mentions before I give my third one. Just gonna shout them out there. Bloodstained, Bloodstained, Koji Igarashi. I don't know if you know him. He created Castlevania, left Konami, decided to start his own thing. He created Bloodstained. Basically, inspired by Symphony of the Night, one of the best Castlevanias, and it follows a new protagonist. Very awesome. One of the characters is voiced by David Hayter, actually, and it's really good. Yeah, I believe. Fact check me on that. I'm pretty sure. Just look up Bloodstained David Hayter. Pretty sure he he did the VA for the dude, the samurai dude. I'm pretty
What?
sure he did.
No,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
no.
yeah. What's his
He
name?
plays Zangetsu.
Zangatsu. Yes, yes,
What?
yes. You need
I
to play that.
knew it.
There's two.
Oh.
There's two prequels that are pixel art 16-bit, straight from NES, Castlevania 3 and 4. They are really good. I platinumed all of them. There's Bloodstained and then Bloodstained Curse of the Moon prequel, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. I have them all physical. They're very rare. Loved it. It was also a Kickstarter. Let's see. Cuphead. Got to give a shout out to Cuphead. Studio MDR. Amazing side scrolling, shoot 'em up, very hard, boss focused game. That's one of my platinums that I still don't believe I have. Really, really good game. Co-op. What's up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you there, but
sure.
I wanted to. You asked about it. So,
Yes.
Vampire Survivors, there are 229 trophies in the PlayStation trophy list. You
Damn.
want to take a guess at how many I have?
215.
221.
Oh, I was so close.
You're
Dang,
pretty
dude, you're
close.
8 off. You
Yeah.
gotta get it. You gotta get it. You gotta
I
top that off. Get that 100%.
I kind of I kind of really need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Those are my honorable mentions. The last one I want to talk about, my game of the year for that year, Tunic. Tunic was originally on the Xbox. If you like top-down Zelda, it's for you. The combat's fun. I loved it. Very hard. Follows a little fox. Really cool storyline. Really deep storyline. Gorgeous game. And the hook is you find manual pages throughout the game and you build the manual. And the manual has hints and clues to where to go next. And the end game is comprised of getting all of the manual pages. And there's like a clue on each page that you have to piece together. It's literally a huge math problem. It was the first time I ever grabbed a piece of paper and I like mapped out each page to figure out the puzzle. Couldn't figure it out, had to look it up. I spent a while on it, so I spent like a good 5 hours on it. I did get the platinum. Love Tunic. Amazing, really good game. Did you play Tunic?
Yeah, I played
Okay,
a
good.
little bit of it. It's very charming. Just the full disclosure, when I played Tunic, I was ripped off my ass right there. I popped a gummy. So I started playing Tunic. You cannot figure out those puzzles when you're that level deep.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, absolutely loved it. I'm so glad you picked it because every game that's on your list is something I knew you had touched, with the exception of Kena. I was like,
Kana.
I gotta talk Kena. I gotta talk about this one. I gotta talk.
Yeah,
Everything else is on there. So yeah, I
yeah.
absolutely touched it. If you don't mind, I like to give my last. It's my one last little shout out to an indie game. I mentioned it
Please do.
earlier in this
Please do.
series, but it is the first one that really got me on the indie trend, and that's going to be Crashers
Ooh,
from Behemoth,
that's a good one.
because then they went on to do Battle Block Theater. They're a very unique art style. So Castle Crashers is old school, side-scrolling beat 'em up, but with a little bit of light or very light RPG mechanics. This is the game that even my kids, we sit down. I get 2 out of my 3 kids to sit down and play this game with me when the remaster dropped, because I was like, "We're playing Castle Crashers, kids."
Oh yeah.
Um, and you can look at it. Its art style is the old game from like Newgrounds,
Wasn't it
because guess where
originally
it
on
came from?
Newgrounds? Yeah.
I was gonna say, because guess where it came from? Newgrounds. So yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to the one that really got me started on this venture of indie and double A indie games.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have played Castle Crashers. I played it on Xbox 360 arcade, and I also played the remaster when it came to PS4. I do not have that platinum because 2 of those trophies are insane. You know which ones I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't gotten them yet.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, that's a really fun couch co-op, online co-op, super fun. Which element did you play as?
So run around. Depends on my mood.
Sure.
But to be quite honest, I'm always red. I always love the red.
Me
Got to
too.
play the
Yep.
fire. Fireball.
Oh,
Hadouken.
orange.
Or
Orange.
is it orange? Yeah, yeah.
Red is the thunder electric, and
Thunder.
that's the one I mained.
And that's the
So
second one I back up to, because
nice.
any chance to scream Hadouken or a lightning bolt at the enemy is exactly it.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought the animations looked the coolest. That's why.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a really good game. Really good game. So yeah, that's kind of the main topic. We want to talk about indies and double A's and tell you our favorite games. And guess what? This is a gaming podcast. So what are we going to talk more about on the next topic? What we're playing, which is games. So let's talk more about games. I hope you enjoyed that topic. That was fun. We love indies. Like I said, I try and alternate between AAA, AA, and indie. Always love my pixel art games. I mean, I have like 50 indie games on my list. You know, if you want more recommendations, go to my PSN profiles. Look at the games I've played. If I have a platinum, I loved it. If I don't, and it's probably rare, I at least finished it because I play games usually to finish them. And there's a lot of indie titles on there. I mean, so many. So if you have any questions, go take a look at our PSN profiles and look at the indie games we've played. If you have questions on them, reach out on Discord. Hit us up. So, what are we playing, Bob? What have we been playing this last week?
Yeah, yeah. I guess I already know what you're playing.
You know?
And I want to give you all of the red carpet and landing
Oh
strip to
no.
go and talk about this without spoiling. So yeah, definitely this week, as you might have known if you listened to this spoiler cast, is I got the platinum for Oblivion Remaster over this last week. So I believe that makes platinum trophy 44. Uh,
Nice.
so I'm not necessarily a hunter, but I like to go, ooh, big number, go up. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it gave me a week with to play around and look at my back catalog with Doom coming up, touch base with some things. Like I thought about touching Helldivers, but the first one I went back to for updates was Civilization 7. This came out in February of this year. 4X. Everybody's heard of Civilization. This had a rocky launch. There were some issues with performance. There was some issue. The UI. You talk to the real top tier people that played Civilization and they're like part of their community. It's like the Spiffing Brit. Potato McWhiskey. There's others out there, right? Even the guy people that play like competitive Civilization for 6 hated, and I'm telling you, Matt, they
Oh
absolutely
wow.
fucking hated the UI of Civ 7. It was
Dang.
hot garbage. It made 0 sense, and these are typically your, PC players, so if a tooltip isn't exactly right the way they want it and it's a pixel off, they tend to, scream about it. But yeah, I came back to this after a few updates because it definitely had problems on my PlayStation 5. It's gotten better.
So
I do
performance issues or
Yeah. So, for example, when you get to the what they call the third age, which is essentially just think of it as late game, the game would go a couple of turns and then it might crash and it may not crash. Right? It'll just literally boom. As soon as your turn starts, game freezes. Boom, crash report. Send to PlayStation. Bob's. Have a nice day. So when that's happening 5 times, maybe up to 10 an hour, you kind of put the game up because it's getting to the point of disrupting your ability to have fun. Um,
dang.
it's definitely improved. I crashed one time in the 8 hours that I played because I just played a whole run through. But it's definitely still a chunky boy. But to be quite honest, I don't know how this thing runs on Switch. The only way I can think of it running on the base Switch is it's the Kingdom Come Deliverance experience, or the Mortal Kombat 1 experience, where it isn't as of high quality.
Yeah, like
Um,
borderline PS3 graphics.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking they did. I haven't looked. Maybe a listener out there can help me make that understanding. Um, the long story short, this game has come a long way. I still think it needs more time in the oven to really get where it needs to be, but I'm going to check back in because I really love Civilization. It's a lifetime series for me. I will continue to play it, and I'd like to support it. We'll see what happens. I've definitely got good hopes, but yeah, that was
Very
I
cool.
put my I've got 3 on the list here. Second one is a pretty quick one. I After I played Civilization, I was like, well, I need something to palate cleanse. So I said I got Wild Arms Platinum this year. Let's start Wild Arms 2.
Alternate
Um,
those genres. I
uh-huh.
like it.
Alternate the genres. Yep. It's been a while, probably since close to just after release since I played Wild Arms 2. Um, it is a turn-based RPG with you very unique mechanics. Where the difference between this one and the first one is there's more than 3 people for a party, but you can swap out, right? The story is better. I think it's kind of like Wild Arms 1, but it's just more polished. Like you can see Wild Arms 1 ran so this game can fly. I think
Oh,
from here
okay.
this point on out, Wild Arms gets a little weird in my taste. But this is the if I'm gonna speak frank, this is my favorite Wild Arms game. One is great,
Okay.
but Wild Arms 2 is really good. It's just overall better. Exploration, combat, characters, the story, the whole 9 yards, right? So definitely go check it out. But I had to stop because it's a turn-based RPG, and I know I've got
Yep.
one coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And as much as I love my RPGs, I just want to give it breath. I want to kind of like give that breathing room before I really crave dessert.
Smart.
Um,
Yes. And you do have a incredible turn-based RPG ahead of you.
yeah, I want it to be gone out of my system long enough to miss it.
I love it. And that's always a struggle, right? The genre fatigue. We've all had it. And sometimes I'll line up my games to alternate genres so I don't get burnout. So that's very smart.
Oh, absolutely, especially with RPGs. If I didn't do anything else, I'd be burnt down on them. Lunar, Suikoden, Clair, Obscure, like turn-based RPGs this year would absolutely probably kill me if I didn't do anything else.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so the final one I wanted to kind of, I alluded to earlier. This is a
Dr.
game.
Magoo's.
Yeah. So this is a game that was very divisive online between and people say use the term a vocal minority. I don't think there was a vocal minority in this game. Um, that is The Last of Us Part 2. Um,
Yes.
I bought this game when it came out. I picked it up and then something else got my attention. ADHD happens. I put it on the
Ghost,
shelf.
right?
It was Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ghost sung to me louder. All right.
Oh yeah. It was my game of the year. Ghost was my game of the year, so I totally understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ghost
That
of
was like,
Tsushima.
yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, to be clear. And it was my game
Yeah.
of the year that year.
Yeah.
Um, so without spoiling, I'm going to just give you my overall where I'm kind of experience. I don't know the percentage of where I'm at, but I get the sense that I think I'm about halfway, and you and I can talk offline.
Are you at the same place you told me you were?
Yeah, I'm a little bit farther now.
A little further? Uh,
Yeah.
you're about halfway, yeah.
Okay. Um, what can I say about this game? I think mechanically, this is probably a very flawless game. I think from a combat and gameplay and playability perspective, this is a very solid game. It's got a little bit of that third person uncharted kind of feel to it with shooter, but at the same time, if you really engage with what's being put in front of you, you can play solid Snake in this game, right?
Yes, you can. Go prone.
You going prone, coming up, getting people, and I'm telling you, you get spotted from like a mile away while you're doing stealth kills. Okay, so from a mechanically speaking, this is a very solid piece. Um, what can I say about the story without spoiling it?
Right.
Um,
This is the tough part.
this is the tough part. Here's the way. This is a purist of coming out after this game's already been out. In full disclosure, I've had certain key elements without context spoiled to me because of time that has elapsed in the internet that's come along, right? Um, I've had certain events spoiled, but without the context. Now that I this is what really wanted me to go is I wanted to look at, okay, X happens or B happens. What are the reasons for these events happening, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, I think there's a story here, but I think there is a difference in, I don't know if there was a difference in writing staff, but I feel it.
Okay.
What I mean by this is The Last of Us 1 was a complete package that had me bawling and crying as a grown man at the end. Okay? And
Oh yeah.
I'm not even going to spoil Last of Us 1, okay?
I did like The Last of Us 1 better than 2. I did. The story. Gameplay? No. 2 has it over 1. Just like you said.
Yep. I think 2 was the fact that 1 was so successful because it was a good swan song for the PS3, but it
Mhm.
really launched with the PS4 because the PS3 was not the platform to really play it on. PS3 didn't have the numbers. When it came to PS4 is when I played it and it connected. And I think I would have to go look at the sales numbers, but I'm a betting man and I'm betting you the sales for Last of Us skyrocketed the second it was on PS4.
Oh, it
Um,
was incredible.
when those numbers came in, I get the sense Sony went to Neil and his team, Neil Druckmann, for those who don't know what I mean, and he
Naughty
said
Dog? Yep.
they went to Naughty Dog and said, "You need to make a sequel." I think The Last of Us Part 2 is the forced sequel. It is essentially the Twin Snakes or Sons of Liberty of Metal Gear Solid. And
Okay.
I don't mean to be disrespectful because I think it's good. I think it's solid. But what I'm saying is I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm like, okay, this makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. This makes sense. But I'm seeing foreshadowing and I'm kind of predicting what's going on. And I'm going, okay,
You
there's a disconnect here.
let me just tell you, you're not gonna predict it.
Okay.
And I hear you. I definitely hear you. Um, finish the story before you make any judgments. You're
This
halfway. You're at a critical moment, let's just say, and you kind of only have like a half a piece of your pie, right? And a lot gets revealed and explained in the second half of the game. And I definitely want to talk to you offline to see actually where you are and what you've experienced, because if you're where I think you are, you saw that uh scene, or you saw that apex of the story, and you really need to play it through and then give me your thoughts. I love your thoughts so far. This is a story where you have to experience the entire package to really get the breadth of the story being told. Uh, and the story is incredible. I played it, platinumed it, loved it, played it on launch. Huge Last of Us fan. Liked The Last of Us Part 1, but Last of Us Part 2 was also an incredible story. So you got to finish it. You got to finish
E
it.
exactly, and I'm trying to reserve judgment hard, really. I really
Things
am because
are explained.
but I'm getting to the halfway. The short answer is I'm getting to I'm keeping an open mind, folks, okay?
Yeah,
I want you to understand that is, um, I'm a very open-minded individual on what the way you wanna tell your or the story you wanna tell, right?
of course. Of course.
But the way you tell the story has to make sense in the end. And the way I'm looking at this is, and I could be wrong, I'm admitting on May 15th by the time you hear this, which will be Doom launch day. So you're not going to hear back for a while. Um, the way I'm getting this is if you do something now to try to give this perspective of what's happened so far, you're essentially going to be doing what Tiny Tina did in the Borderlands 2 DLC, where she just says plot twist. And if you do that, it's going to be such whiplash. I may not connect with it. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a chance I will. Don't, Lord knows there are plenty of stories out there that I've enjoyed that do that. But if you do it with this one, I am not entirely sure how I'm going to perceive it. And I'm going to keep an open mind. But I'm also looking at it and I'm going, okay, I also, from what I'm seeing so far, I feel like this is a story. There's a reason we're getting intergalactic and not Last of Us Part 3. I'll leave it like that.
Yeah. I do think we are going to get Last of Us Part 3. The show is out. The show follows Last of Us Part 2. I haven't seen the show, so I can't say if the game's better. I know they're different, but I haven't seen the show. I've finished the game twice. I platinumed the game. Uh, yeah, you got to finish that story, man. Let's just say you're in Act 2. I
Okay.
think if you're where I think you are, where we talked about, if you're even a little further, you're just started Act 2. So I'm actually excited to hear about where you actually are. And hey, dude, Last of Us Part 2 spoiler cast. Oh, I would do that. I would totally do that. But it might be, dude, Last of Us Part 2 is pretty old. It came out in 2020. So,
Yeah.
dude,
I'll
I'm
give you
I'm so glad you're going through it. I'm so glad you're going through it.
Yeah, I'll give you the 2 final thoughts on this is one,
Yeah.
I'm going to let it marinate where I'm at right
Yes.
now because there are games coming, so I'm gonna get back to it, right? I need to think about it. I've been thinking about it, right? And number 2, the other reason I don't think we've gotten a Last of Us Part 3, and this is me thinking about things, is, from a creator standpoint and a writer, 'cause I love what, Neil and his team have done over at Naughty Dog, but when you have such a epic thing that you've built up and it gets absolutely swept under the rug, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails.
Hmm.
S-
Okay.
So, from a creator standpoint, if you're really
Yeah.
excited about doing something and then somebody spoils it, like if you have a surprise for
Right.
your girlfriend or whatever, and then somebody blurts it out and ruins the surprise. I think of the movie Big
Sure.
Daddy where they're like, "We wasted the good surprise on you."
Yeah.
It
Oh
takes the
man,
wind out of
shout
your
out to Adam
sails.
Sandler.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
I hear
pretty
you.
sure that's kinda where that might be the other reason where he's at. So I'll keep an open mind and we'll check back in 6 months maybe and see where
Oh,
we're at.
okay. Okay. Yeah. So question, have you had, I know you had stuff spoiled before this, but have you had anything spoiled uh, from this point on for you in the story?
I don't believe so.
Good. Okay, cool. Good deal.
Um, let's put it this way: nothing's been. If you've watched this show, um, nothing's been spoiled via the show yet.
We'll stop watching the show.
I'm not watching it. I refuse to.
Okay, good. Don't watch the show because I know for a fact a critical element of the game that is told throughout Act Two is actually spoiled very heavily in Episode Two, and I actually disagree with that writing in that aspect. It was only a clip, so I can't speak to it. Just don't
Yeah,
watch the show before you play the game. Uh, Game's incredible, man. It's 10 out of 10 for me. I love The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 1's a 10 out of 10 as well. Last of Us Part 1 does, eke by The Last of Us Part 2 a little bit. I do like it from an overall uh, aspect, just because, man, that game hits. And Last of Us Part 2 does too, dude. There are some moments. Yeah, we'll talk more after after we get done recording.
yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And by the time you hear this recording, I'll either be on my way to pick up my copy, or I'll be balls deep giggity into Doom: The Dark Ages. So
Heck
um,
yeah.
you know exactly what I'll be talking about next week. So you mention you got a platinum, man. Without further ado, let's hear all about it without talking about spoilers, because now I'm withering in anticipation on how you're gonna do this.
Right. That's the very challenging part about this game. I've not only finished it, I've not only done all the in-game stuff, I've not only beat all the bosses and super bosses. Yeah, spoiler. This game has super bosses, right? It's a JRPG. I've platinumed it. I've seen this game through. I've actually done stuff that isn't even required for the platinum just because I wanted to. The cool thing about this game, so for those of you that don't know, for those of you that didn't listen to episode one, this game is Clair Obscure Expedition 33. It's developed by Sandfall Interactive. It's a AA game published by Kepler Interactive. And I'm playing it on performance, the performance mode, 60 frames a second on my PS5 Pro with my DualSense Edge. And it is a turn based JRPG set in a broken world where there is a paintress that you are going on an expedition to kill. You are the 33rd expedition. The reason you are trying to kill this paintress is because she is painting a number, and that number, everybody of that age dies. She started at 100, and now she is at 33. So the oldest people in the world are 32. Everyone else is dead because she has painted the number and they died. So that's kind of and that was all in the marketing, right? And you are Gustave, uh, accompanied by a crew of expeditioners. It's your typical RPG. It has an incredible story. It took me about 65 hours to fully complete. I'd say it took me about 30 to 35 hours to finish. The play clock says I'm 75 hours in, and I think I have a theory of why it's so off. I think with every single play session, and I play around every night, most weeknights, I play around 4 hours and change, right? I think with every play session, it rounds up. So if I have 4 hours and 10 minutes in game, PlayStation 5 sees it as 5 hours, and it constantly does that every session. So my system time, because I don't leave the app open. I'm not that guy. Like I'm pretty anal with playtime, uh, and the uh, gauging of it. Right, I want to see like how long I spent in the game, but I think it does round up, and I play like 4 hours and change. So. Uh, you get 10 play sessions, right? That's 10 extra hours, and that's where I'm at. It says 64 hours in game, but my system time is 74 hours. So yeah, level 99, got the platinum. There's a trophy for getting level 99. Uh, yeah, dude, when you boot up this game, just the title screen. Some of those there's games, right? When you boot it up and you're just sitting there ready to play, you're just like, all right, let's get into it. Boom. And the title screen comes up and you're like, okay, cool. That's cool. All right, let's play. This one though, there are some games that when you boot it up, you throw in that disc or launch the app, that title screen comes on and you go to press the X button and you're like, oh. Final Fantasy 16 was one of them for me. And this game was one of them for me. This game's title screen is amazing. This game's soundtrack is top fucking 3 of my best soundtracks of all time. Up there with Final Fantasy 7. Up there with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I shit you not. The variety, the breadth of different tracks you get, incredible. This guy's from SoundCloud too. So, yeah, the title screen, just amazing. You get into the game, man. The combat is incredible. The combat's very unique. It's turn-based, of course, but then you also have Sekiro, Dark Souls like. I know like to throw that around, but it's literally inspired. The guy loves his Dark Souls and he loves his Demon Souls and Sekiro. He's a speedrunner. It is very tight when it comes to combat. So you can either dodge the attack of the enemy or parry it. Or you can perfect dodge. So those 3. Dodging, way easier. There's a way bigger window. You can dodge right out of the way. It's still pretty tight. If you don't know the enemy's patterns, you're going to get fucking hit. But then if you do it just right, you get a perfect dodge. That perfect dodge window is the exact same as the parry window. Now, the parry is you basically parry the attack and you hit them for a lot of damage, especially if they do a full team attack. Your entire team, it says Expedition 33 counterattacks. Your entire team counterattacks. And that is satisfying. Very satisfying. But you can keep dodging and dodging. And then when you start seeing that perfect dodge, you're like, okay, I think I have the timing down. Let's try and parry. And then you parry them. Some of these enemies, they have multiple attacks. And you have to parry every single attack to get that counter attack. So, I mean, some enemies have 5 to 6 attacks and they will feint you. They'll trick you and you'll be like, oh, they'll get you. But I've encountered a boss where I just get my ass handed to me. They just wipe the floor with me. And I do a little better and a little better and a little better. And then I go into my build crafting. I'm like, okay, how am I going to tailor this to this boss? And I eventually just nail it. It's like a Dark Souls boss. When I dropped this specific super boss, it was the same feeling as dropping a Bloodborne boss or a Demon Souls boss or a Lies of P boss. It's the same feeling. It's incredible. So
Yeah. So I got a question then. Since you're build crafting, does this
yes.
game encourage you to break it?
Oh my God. Okay. I'm almost there and I'm going to talk about breaking the game. So with the combat, I am on the edge. I'm on the DualSense edge. So I have my left bumper on dodge and my right bumper on parry. I would highly recommend you play this game with the edge for that reason. It's awesome because by default, dodge is on circle and parry is on L1. So I like edging with this game.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Build crafting. Oh my God. So, okay. So you find these pictos. These pictos are passive abilities. You can get more burn damage. There are elements in this game. There are weaknesses. There are buffs. There are all sorts of things with the magic and fire, thunder, earth, ice, dark, other elements that I won't get into. You find these pictos, and these are passive elements. You equip these pictos. You have 3 slots to equip these pictos in. And if you fight 4 battles with a picto equipped, you learn it for your entire team to then equip as a luminous, I think it's called. And you have luminous points. So this is a lot like Final Fantasy IX. actually. So Final Fantasy 9, you equip your weapon and you learn these skills, and then these skills are available for you to slot if you don't have the weapon equipped. But for this game, it's equipable for the entire party. And I'm not going to tell you how many eventual party members there are, but there are more than what you see in the marketing. We'll just say that. And yeah, I think I ended. There's like there might even be like 100 pictos. There are a shitload of pictos. This game encourages you to break it. Like I got a picto that then fed into another picto that then triggered another picto, and I broke Lune. I'm telling you right now. I showed you the screenshot. I ended the battle with 1 second. I I won't go into the pictos I used. I'll go in on the spoiler cast, but I broke this game. This game encourages you to break it. You break this game, and then it's like, oh my God, I broke this game. There's no way I could break it even further. And then you break it another 50 fucking times. It's nuts. Like I have so many broken builds. So,
Dude, you know what other
yeah.
game, and I know you haven't played, that does that?
What, Persona?
Metaphor.
Metaphor. I was close.
Yeah.
Yeah, the combat, the UI combat, the UI for the combat, very heavily inspired by Persona and Metaphor. Very graphically pretty, and your options are like they shoot out from the side of your character. This game runs perfectly. There is a little bit of a hiccup I saw in the beginning, but it worked itself out. It's just a tiny little frame stutter when you go in. I'm on a pro. I'm playing on performance. Like I'm best of the best when it comes to performance, but that kind of worked itself out. So yeah, very responsive too. You can go right into the actions. Boom, 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 boom. Uh, yeah, it's very cool. So the UI is very heavily Persona influenced, I'd say. I'm seeing all kinds of influencers from Final Fantasy games, from old school JRPGs. This was in the marketing, so I'm just going to say it. Maybe. Do you? There's a world map. There's a world map.
There's been enough out there to talk about that,
Yeah.
so I think
Like an
that's
overworld map you traverse, like old school Final Fantasy VI.
If you look at the inspiration for half a second, and sniff a little bit, that I don't consider that necessarily a spoiler. You know what I consider
Right.
mechanical spoilers, and I recently had to turn off a podcast for it. It
What?
would be Doom. I don't give a
Oh,
I have no clue what's
yeah.
going on in Doom, but I want to know
Right.
mechanically.
Yeah.
Expedition 33 is the kind of game where I want to keep away from the story.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I won't talk any about the story. I'll tell you the concept. And then your Expedition 33. So there have been many more expeditions before you that are basically the tagline is, we continue and we leave things for those who come after. Uh, and these expeditions just slowly keep progressing because they're helping each other. And I'm talking expeditions of like 50 people, like because the paintress paints the number and the people of that age die. Let's say you're expedition 50 and you're 40 or in you're 50 years old and it's on expedition 51. You're like, oh, I'm gonna die. She's gonna paint me. So let's go out. Let's help the expedition after me, and let's leave clues for them. So, and there's a tagline: when one falls, we continue. Uh, and you come across a lot of history with the expeditioners. So that's story wise. Yeah, I I broke the game many, many times. The cool thing about this game is I didn't have to really look anything up. I I got to about 92% on the trophies. I completed every single challenge, including super bosses, including the hardest challenge in the game. And ooh boy, it is Dark Souls level challenging without looking anything up. I had enough information, enough knowledge. The game told me enough to where I could put the pieces together and break the shit out of the game to accomplish this insanely tough boss that I went to, got my ass handed to me, and I was like, I'll come back. built a little bit, went back, got my ass handed. I'll come back. And I just kept doing that. And then eventually I was like, okay. And it really like tests you. And it's like, get good and then come back, or break it a little bit more and then come back. So yeah, I grinded only like 2 hours in this game. It like the game has enough content to where you don't have to grind a lot. So yeah, for that reason, it's the first game I ever didn't have to look anything up, and it's the first game I haven't grinded a lot. For that reason, I don't like doing favorite. I really don't, but I do have to do favorites. I think it's my second favorite RPG of all time, literally right under Final Fantasy VII, and I think it's better than the original Final Fantasy VII. And as a whole, with Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, and the next remake, that's why Final Fantasy VII only has the edge on this. I'm telling you, man, it's one of the best RPGs of all time. It's my second favorite.
Ooh, wow. That's a tall order, my friend.
Yep. So, yeah, that's Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Saw it through, platinumed. I can't recommend it enough. It's my game of the year, and it probably won't be topped. So, did you have any other questions for me on it?
No, you asked. Well, the one thing I was curious about with the JRPG is, can you break it? Game that encourages you to
100%.
break it and still have fun with it and challenge you, screams right up my alley.
Yep. Yeah, you can definitely break it. So, cool.
As we said at the beginning, big number gripper.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. I was hitting for 6 figures. I was hitting base attacks for like 650,000 with my main character in end game. So yeah. Oh God, this game. And you take a step back and you just think back on it, and you're like, man. So I can't wait to have the spoiler cast. I'm excited, and I can't wait for you to play it, and I can't wait for all of you to play it, listening, and tell me how it is. I know we have some listeners playing it. But yeah, those are the games we're playing. That's the news. This has been episode 3. Pretty cool. Had some fun. Drank some beer. What do you think? Should we get the hell out of here?
I think we go ahead and call this a good one.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day, whatever day that may be. And as always, keep the conversation going with video games.
Peace.
Shapes of Gaming is a podcast shaped around gaming and, most importantly, our community. That's you. It is written, created, and recorded in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado by me, Matt Stenson, and my good friend Bob Harriman. If you would like to be part of this amazing community, be sure to like, subscribe, or follow us on all the social media platforms or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks so much for listening, and always remember, keep the conversation going, and most importantly, keep gaming.